let's just have a little conversation. Just to throw around some ideas here. Because words are tricky, but truth is obvious when you can understand it. We use words as tools to try to explain the truth. Hopefully, some people don't. Some people use the words to confuse the truth or to manipulate the truth. But let's just say that everything that you experience is your own opinion. Not just your own opinion, but everything of your own. Let's say you might, if you ask every person in the world an opinion on somebody that is real, somebody that's alive, they all have an opinion. And yes, maybe some people say, I like them, I don't like them, I hate them. But out of the 7 billion people, there's 7 billion different levels of that. So if 7 billion different people were given an apple, maybe some say I like them, some say I don't like them, some say I hate them, some say I love them. But there's different degrees. Like say if somebody had an apple and they like apples and oranges, but no two people like them exactly the same. No two people think exactly the same of one blade of grass. No two people think the same about one person. Maybe similar, but it's not exactly the same. So with that being said, everything that you see is that way. So of course, everything you don't see is that way. The whole entire world, universe, everything of every concept, God itself, religion, spirituality, all those words, everything is your personal opinion, your individual opinion, your particle of opinion. Because I don't want to say personal, because then that brings us into the third sense. But let's try by saying, what is consciousness? Just conscience. Conscience is like conscience, what we all believe together. That's what God is. God is conscience. Because what we all believe together is what we see. And not just believe as in the word believe, something that you might think could possibly be. Like what we know to be true, knowledge, wisdom, whatever that word would be. Consciousness is what we so in our hearts believe to be true. The step down from that is awareness, because consciousness has to be there before you can be aware of it. You can't be aware of consciousness without consciousness being there. At one point you were so unlogical, or so we were all so unsmart, we were so stupid that we were a rock. But somehow a rock still gave off some kind of thought at some low level. Even less than a moving bug, because the moving bug is moving. But, so there's consciousness, and then we go to awareness. But then, the presence of awareness is your spirit. The individual thought about yourself, your person, is the ego. It's your spirit forgetting that it's spirit. So even if you're a person being, yeah, I'm aware that I'm going to my job, and I'm aware that I have to be here at this time, you're aware of something on the third level, of a name somebody gave something. If you're going to work, work is just a word. The place you're going are just buildings that people built out of nature and named them a certain name, and now have employees that we call employees working, doing all these things that we call them. And it's just a miraculous confusion on the third level. That's how we're on the third dimension, because we're aware that we're here, our spirit is present and aware of our being here, but then our ego, from the time we were born, sort of got taken over and told what it was. And now if you finally realize what you are, it's so hard to take all the memories away. So the memories create your personality now. So in a way you want to forget your memories, but not in a bad way. But it seems bad. So how do you change that from seeming bad when you're like, I don't want to remember things the way they were, and I want to create things anew? Well, the only thing you can do is use the ideas and words that we have from the past to try to create new visions for the future and move yourself towards them. And if we can all do that as a collective group, the consciousness or our conscience will be that. It's just right now we keep putting negative shit in our heads, thinking negative stuff, watching negative stuff, believing negative people. Start getting healthy and disappear with all the viruses and illnesses. Start loving each other and disappear with all the hatred and blame and greed and all those things. Start treating people like people, not like objects, and disappear all the lust and all the competition and all the hate. You know, all that stuff isn't hard once you realize who you are. Once you realize who you are and what you are, it sucks to come back to the ego and realize that no one takes you seriously because they're stuck in that and they see you as your ego trying to tell them about some spiritual thing and they think you're just your ego. Even when you're coming from total consciousness, the original consciousness, before there was everyone else. Let's just say senseness, not science, but senseness. I don't want to go off on it too much, but just take some of those ideas and just stew them around in your brain a little bit and really understand. The world is so different than you've ever thought it was. It's not ghetto fabulous. It's not Hollywood. It's not science. It's not mythology or astrology or astrology. It's all kinds of different things. Everything mixed together. Those words are just opinions. Those words are ideas. And yes, people put a lot of effort and lots of thought and lots of energy and lots of work into things. And great. Nothing against them. But it's time to make more. To make new. And this time when we do it in a way where it's along the lines of according with Mother Earth, nature, God, everything. Consciousness. Be good to each other. That's pretty simple. And I'll say it 1 billion times because it's pretty damn simple. But, anywho, that's it for now. I love you guys. Peace.